Hidden Object Guru here with hot new game Lamplight City. I guess it's an upcoming game because it doesn't come out for a couple of weeks. Well, 10 days. Ooh, nice. Apparently it's set in Zeppelin times, which historically are the best times to set video games in. Let's start this bad boy up. I found out about this yesterday. Apparently it's a detective game. Set in Victorian, I'm going to guess, England? And it has long loading times. Oh, here we go. Fully voiced? Nice. No, I'm not going to be a jerk.
Bit too much Bollingworth ale is all. That stuff really creeps up on you.
Sorry I couldn't join you, but I was long overdue for a quiet night in with Addie.
That's fine. There'll be plenty of other opportunities. Hell, maybe Adelaide can even join us.
Oof.
It's been ages since she last drank me under the table.
This is not a criticism at all.
These days.
But wow.
Miles, what exactly
Can you hear the that this was recorded in a booth?
I may have dozed off during the briefing.
Honestly, Bill, one of these days Snelling's gonna notice.
No, he won't. Why do you think they put him behind a desk? The man couldn't find his own backside with a pair of pliers and a lantern.
Very
That's
funny.
a creepy image.
Anyway, it's a burglary at the Hambrook Flower Shop.
A burglary, eh? How dull. At least we'll have enough time to get a drink afterwards.
Will we,
Seem
though?
awfully certain of that.
I am. In fact, I'd bet the devil my head that we're done within the hour.
Well, the devil's gonna be
All right.
disappointed that his winnings are so meager.
See, they're jerks to each other all the time. That's how you know they're friends.
We've arrived.
These people in
you,
fiction
Bill.
only have toxic relationships, is what I'm saying. City of New Bretagne. Oh, New Brittany. Pearl of Colmondale. Alright, sure. Oh, wow, that's great looking pixel art animation. Way to go,
Thank you.
developers.
Change.
Oh, poor horsies.
And so, our night of excitement begins.
You more than anyone else should know that there's rarely a dull night in Chumley.
I have a feeling
Oh,
tonight
they
will be
pronounce
the
that
exception.
Chumley.
Until we get to the
British
pub
people
that
make no
goes.
sense.
Keep your mind on the case, Bill. Now let's get a move on.
Left click to interact. I love context sensitive
Come on,
buttons,
Bill.
everybody. They make life so much easier.
Charming little place, isn't it?
Charming, but empty. We need to find the owner.
Always so to the point, Ford. If ever there was a better time to stop and smell the flowers.
Waka waka.
I think I'll leave that to you, Bill.
With my allergies, hardly.
Not too many left. Seems business isn't so bad around here.
There
Well,
are
you
a
know
lot
what they
left.
say. There are only 3 certainties in life. Death, taxes, and people taking advantage of sales.
God, I've missed this kind of adventure game. Which is a weird thing to say, because they're constantly making new ones these days.
Hello, gentlemen. I must say you caught me by surprise. I was preparing to close soon. May I help you find anything? The flowers in the center display are half price this week, and I have a special on chrysanthemums today. Or perhaps a custom bouquet for the special ladies in your lives?
Oh,
I have no need myself, but maybe Adelaide would appreciate a little something. Eh, Miles? Those peonies in the corner look nice.
I'm afraid we're not here as customers tonight, ma'am. We'd like to have a word with the proprietor. Is he in?
I see. I'm Cecilia Handbrook, and this is my shop. What can I do for you, gentlemen?
I'm Detective Miles Fordham, and this is my partner, William Legere. We received a report.
weird that
of
you're not, like,
burglary at
wearing
your store.
badges.
A report?
Or identification.
Whom? I never contacted the police before, and I didn't this time, either.
Oh.
It was made anonymously. But are you saying this isn't the first time it's happened?
Correct. It's happened 3 times. But considering the police hardly care about the daily muggings and vandalisms around here, I didn't think they would be interested in something so trivial.
Well, we're here now, and we'll do all we can to help you.
We'll have to see about that.
If you wouldn't mind, Mrs. Handbrook, I'd like to ask you a few questions.
He's
Very
weirdly
well,
hostile.
Detective.
Is she running a drugs ring out of the back of her store?
Have you been in business long?
Yes, I opened this shop 30 years, but the past 10 years
Yes,
I've been
that's
running
right. You
things
can
on
skip
my
ahead.
own.
Dream's alive.
Don't you feel unsafe being here by...
Detective, when you've lived in this part of town as long as I have,
Also, why are you open late night as a flower shop? Do people need a lot of late night
Could
flowers?
you give me the details concerning the burglaries?
It's Secret Opium Den, everybody.
about 3 weeks ago on Monday, I noticed that my order of Easter lilies was missing. At first, I thought nothing of it. Sometimes certain types of flowers are unavailable, or then 2 weeks
Okay.
ago on Wednesday, it happened again. But this time,
Go on.
Which
when I
was?
opened the shop, there were 6 crowns and 10 shillings on the counter.
What?
That's exactly the cost of 2. Last Friday, it happened yet again. The lilies were missing, and there was payment for one. I believe that someone has been breaking into my shop after hours, taking the lilies.
How unusual.
It's a very unusual thing.
Have you noticed any suspicious characters lurking around?
Detective Fordham, this is Chumley. You can't throw a stone without hitting a suspicious character, and if you've noticed my window, you'd be aware that stones get thrown around quite If you're looking for trouble, you're far more likely to find
I meant if you'd seen anyone out of the...
only the 2 men from the police who entered it tonight.
Yeah, you're the worst lady.
Have you found any evidence of a break-in?
No, the front door is always locked. My assistant Trevor and I are the only ones with the key.
Trevor.
Are there any other points of access to the building?
The upstairs windows, I suppose, but I made
Kind of
sure to
a
keep them
pet shop
locked
is
and
open in the
neither
middle,
of them have
is
been
filled
broken.
with
Would you allow us to have a
hot
look
jazz
upstairs?
music in the middle of the night.
Is that really necessary? I was just about to close up.
It won't take but a moment.
Fine, I suppose you may.
So
talk about
this
this
burglar
assistant
has
of
been
yours.
paying for the stolen goods?
That would appear to be the case, yes.
Well, then they're not
I
really
really
stolen
don't
goods,
think
are they?
this could even be considered a crime. That's one of the reasons I didn't bother.
And the other reasons?
Oh, I think I've already made those quite clear, Detective.
You mentioned your assistant has the other shop key. What can you tell me about him?
His name is Trevor Hastings, and he has been working for me for the past 10 years.
Do you
Ooh.
trust him?
Implicitly. I've known him for ages, and he has been my full-time... You're not suggesting he had anything to do with this, are you?
Not at all. I would like to speak with him, though. Where might I find him?
It's Friday, so he should be on his way back from the docks right now.
Good. We'll meet him here, then.
I suppose I don't really have much
You
of a choice,
absolutely
do I?
don't.
I think that's
It's a
all the
fun
information
episode.
I need for now.
All right, Detective.
Okay, access the case with the top right screen or right click. Okay. Wait, why would the burglar returning decide whether this case was this investigation was a formality? Clues. All right, let's head upstairs.
Interesting.
So which of
choice
these pictures has a
decorating.
secret
Perhaps
switch
wasn't
behind it
always
to
used
open
as a
the
storeroom, although I can understand why it would have been converted.
Yeah, it is rather
open the
drafty.
photography studio, where I'll find the picture of the haunter in the dark?
A rather distinguished-looking gentleman.
Reminds me of Captain Snelling.
Hilarious.
A young lady.
I can see the resemblance. Sort of.
I've seen this type of device before. It's a special container for growing plants. Specific temperature and water seems to be empty right now, though.
Neat.
And judging by the dust, it hasn't been used in a long time, if ever.
Oh,
Seems Mrs.
she used to
Handbrook
raise
isn't too fond of
orchids?
steam tech, or just doesn't understand it.
Seems to be the broken pot storage area.
Why not just throw them away, I wonder?
It's likely they're
So
going
they
to
can be repaired? Okay, yeah.
I noticed some faint cracks in some of the pots downstairs.
Ah. Fascinating and logical, too.
Unmarked. But if the smell is anything to go by, this is where the flowers are stored when delivered.
I'll keep my distance then.
Because of his allergies.
Unmarked.
I'll keep my...
Oh, yeah, we already talked about that. Now, what do you mean steam tech? Is this set in a steampunk world and I just didn't
The
notice it
window
yet, or
latch,
what?
Securely locked.
What's this here?
Interesting. There's a gap between the window and the frame here. No wonder it's so drafty in this room.
Why, I bet one could reach down there with a
What are you thinking, Fordham?
fish
And it's
hook
time
and
for an
open that up.
experiment. I'm going to need a tool, however. Something long and thin should do the trick.
Shouldn't be too hard to find something.
Okay. First off, I love clues.
This provides a means of escape from the top floor, or access the window latch.
Alright, so let's go find something.
I would imagine that keeping a consistent
When do you suppose this contraption was?
hard to say. Definitely not recently. A pastoral landscape. Definitely no.
Maybe I get some wire off the back of one of the
Much understood
pictures?
art, but it would be nice to see a place like that in person.
Right there with you, buddy.
A rather distinguished looking.
Reminds me.
No?
Fascinating to.
Okay. Objectives.
I don't think this window would serve.
It's a nice view, though. You can hardly see the vomit.
Hilarious. You're a comedy machine.
Why not?
It's
No, nothing there. Maybe back downstairs?
Bill.
What's going on?
A gap in the
Okay.
window.
Do you think it might be the point of it?
Indeed. I just need to find something.
I think you were born with something like that, Miles.
You're disgusting, Bill.
I know.
Bill is
That's why I always do the
disgusting.
dirty
Thank you
work.
for acknowledging it.
You ever miss living out?
About as much as you missed stepping in that pile of horseshit last week.
I was distracted by that story you were. How's she doing out?
Well, she's not in the chums. Living here was about as fun as wearing a vest made of meat to a dog. Oh, and by the way, Miles,
Oof.
you didn't do such a great job.
That would explain.
Hilarious.
Let's get back.
All right.
Alright, so, thin piece of wire would be where? Probably back downstairs, right? I mean, since there's nowhere left to click. Aha!
This is quite the selection.
Sure, if you don't mind me getting snuck.
Oh, no, not the Myers case all over. On second thought, you can just stay over there. These prices are pretty reasonable. The place I go in Worcester's clearly robbing me blind.
If you think those are bad, don't go near the flower
It's weird
shops
that they
and beyond.
pronounce Cholfulfully Chumley, but they just write Worcester instead of
hook is
Worcestershire
exactly what I
and
need.
say Worcester.
Mrs. Hanbrook, may I borrow this hook for a few minutes? It's crucial to our investigation.
Is that so?
Yes, I promise. I'll put it back as soon as I'm done.
Please do, Detective.
Oh. So apparently, based on how you do missions, it massively changes the game. So what they've done is, for reviewers, they've offered
Good. Bill, it's time for our experiment.
And what is this experiment?
a bunch
gonna
of
be?
save files for the
Simple.
start of Case
I'm going to
2,
see if
depending
this
on how
hook
you
can get me
finished up
inside the
Case
shop.
1. I didn't download them yet because I wanted to go in clean, but now I'm excited to find
Rather
out all the
dark
different
out here.
ways you can finish
Watch
it.
your step, then. This experiment of yours isn't worth a broken neck.
I'll be fine. Now then, could you please close and lock the window, Bill?
So do we have to do a mini game, or we just mini game? Yep, mini game. Why, look at that. Who could have guessed that exact thing would happen?
Well, I'd say this is fairly incontrovertible proof that the building can easily be broken into without arousing suspicion.
Where'd you learn how to do that, anyway?
You taught me, remember?
Nah. Are you sure it was me?
Positive. We were a few
Ooh.
pints in at the Angel about 5 years ago, and you decided I should learn how to pick locks.
What else have I taught you how to do while drunk?
That would be telling.
Waka waka.
Bill?
What's going on, Miles?
So surveillance, do you think?
What's your impression of...
I like her. Good old-fashioned, tough-as-nails Chumley woman. Reminds me of my mother.
Your mother was never quite so stubborn. Why do you suppose she's so reluctant?
It's a chum thing, Miles.
Alright.
Still feeling...
Yes. But I'll feel better once this case is finished and we can go down to the Angel for a pint or four.
Hair of the dog?
No better medicine.
Wow.
I've heard of honor among thieves.
These
You
are
ever
some
known a
drunken
thief to pay for
cops.
stolen goods?
Perhaps conducting normal business is just too boring for him.
There could be any number of reasons. The best way to...
Alright.
Let's get back to it.
All right.
Now we know how he's getting in, but is there like a sign of how he climbed up to the roof? Maybe we can find a torn piece of cloth on the, it's him!
Trevor.
Evening, Cecilia. I've got the order ready to bring in.
Trevor, these are Detectives Fordham and Leger. They say there's been a report about the burglary.
She's got an excellent memory, because I didn't even remember our names. She only heard them once.
I only did it because I think it's been going on too long. As much as you want to, we can't handle this ourselves.
We can discuss the matter later.
Fa-foi?
In the meantime, the detective would like a word with you.
I'll be needing to bring in the flowers first, if that's all right. Otherwise, some hooligan's likely to run off with them.
My partner will keep an eye on your flowers. Bill, would you mind?
Ah, the glamour of police work.
Hopefully he's not murdered by a flower thief while he's out there. Although that would be a surprising twist.
Now, Mr. Hastings, if I could ask you a few questions.
Go on, then.
Okay.
What can you tell me about the recent...
I wish Cecilia had contacted you a lot sooner. She's a damn fine woman, but had to take matters into my own hands.
Okay.
This needs taken care of, and we can't do it on our own. As much as anyhow. Alls I know is someone's been making off.
Thanks for saying alls I know.
No idea who it could be, how they're getting in, or why they even bother. In my day, if you robbed a place, you did it the right way. It's a sad state of affairs when even...
Do you have much experience with
Comedy
burglary,
gold.
Mr. Hastings?
Now, I never said that, detective.
Have you
Aw.
noticed anyone or anything suspicious around here recently?
Nothing but the usual roughnecks, ragamuffins, like
Thanks
I
for
said.
saying
It's
ragamuffin.
a real mystery.
Could you walk me through the process of your deliveries?
Of course. There's on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday afternoons, Cecilia gives me her list of flowers to pick up from the wholesalers. I head over
This
to
is
Gas
a
Pump around
hot
sunset, and they
upcoming
get their
game,
shipment, and I
Lamplight
give 'em her
City.
order. They load up the
Deodorith.
crate, I pay for it, and then I lug it back here.
How long does that take?
Between moving the crate and getting it across the river on the ferry, a couple of hours. Usually the store's closed by then, so I use my key to get in and leave the crate
Oh,
inside
my
for Cecilia
key.
to open in the morning. That's all there is to it.
Do you ever leave the crate unattended during that time?
No, sir. Never more than a minute. I may be old, but I got good eyes. I'd see if there were anything
So
amiss.
someone at
Besides that, I
the
check to make
flower
sure the crate is
depot
still sealed when I drop it off.
is
I'm not
loading
about to let Cecilia
drugs
down by being
into the
careless.
lily pots, and the thief is stealing them because that's how they move the... Because he always gets them there after closing, right?
How long have you been working for Mrs. Hanbrook?
Been about 10 years now, I reckon. I used to help with deliveries now and then when it was her and David, her husband. But after he passed, she offered to make me her assistant. Unfortunate way to get it, but I needed the work.
Oh, Lamplight Caverns from the... Okay. I took me a second to get that, Deodorith.
Newfangled steam machines. So, the
Lamplight
office
Caverns
came
from
apart.
Fallout,
Besides
gotcha.
that, Cecilia needed looking after.
Good
Even though
quiz.
She'd never admit it. If I'm being honest, we're both getting a bit long in the tooth. Not sure how much longer we'll be keeping, but as long as I'm upright and breathing, I'll be bringing these crates along. Even if it is murder,
I admire your work ethic.
I've got a job to do. Not enough people
Thanks for your time, Mr. Hastings.
appreciate it, detective. If you don't mind, detective, I still
So,
need to
what I
check
figure
the
is
before
the
I
guys
get in.
who load
Of
up
course.
the
Thank
crates
you again
know
for
that
your
he's
help.
not bringing them in until after the store closed, so there's no way the lilies are going to get sold, right?
Learn anything?
So they can put
Awesome.
drugs or whatever
May have an
inside the
idea.
lilies
Ah, you're being cryptic.
and
That's
know that
always
they
a
can
good
break
sign.
in that night and
If you've got a
steal them
plan,
before anyone has a
let's
chance
talk
to
about
buy them, thereby getting the drugs. And I don't know why they're leaving money to pay for it. That's a little strange. Of course I've heard of Shenmue, Deodorith. I've got a What is Shenmue video up here on the channel.
Got a minute, Bill?
For you, Miles, I've got 5.
When's the last time you took any time
Did you
off?
enjoy Shenmue?
That's a good question. What year is this again?
I think we've both been working a bit too much lately. Addie's been wanting to go visit her mother in Dixie. Maybe we can all go.
That sounds nice, but I wouldn't want to be a third wheel on a visit unless... Would Adelaide's brother be?
You're incorrigible, Bill.
It's one of my...
Okay.
Any thoughts on Mrs. Hanbrook's assistant, Trevor?
Yes, I feel sorry for him.
Why?
Nah, it's not that. He's obviously smitten with Mrs. Hanbrook.
What? You only saw him for a few moments. How in the ether did you get that impression?
The way he looked at her, the way he spoke when he confessed to contacting the police. Shall I go on?
No, that's fine.
Really, Miles? You'd be surprised what you can learn from people if you just look at them.
Why bother doing
Good
that
point.
when I've got you to do it for me?
You never mentioned that he was crossing the border with bikes, Hans.
Got any opinions on the upcoming election?
I'll just be glad when it's all over. It seems like the last few months have been nothing but people giving opinions and telling me what to do.
Right, there was a Shenmue the movie on the
I
Shenmue
already saw some
2
kids
disc,
putting up
wasn't there? I
Lamplight
totally
posters down my
forgot about
street.
that.
I already drew mustaches.
Yeah, I
all
still
over
have
on
my
street.
Dreamcast copy of Shenmue.
Handlebar?
Yeah, you know me too well.
I always
I
thought
mean,
of that
somewhere.
as more of a Van
It's probably
Zant
in a
type of
box.
man myself.
I can see that. Yeah. Well, there's some.
Alright, surveillance,
Right.
here we go.
Based on what we've been told in our experiment, I can only conclude that our burglar is using the upstairs window to get into the shop.
So, what do you propose we do about it?
It's happened repeatedly over the past 3 weeks, on one of the delivery nights. Since it has yet to occur this week, and today is Friday, logic dictates it should be tonight.
So we settle in and wait to see if the burglar returns? Catch him in the act?
Exactly. It's our best chance of solving this.
See, the problem with that, that's what you're telling me is the
I
wheelbarrow
was really
story,
looking forward
right?
to getting that drink at the Angel tonight, too.
That the guy, oh, he was stealing
As you said
wheelbarrows.
yourself, there'll be
Right?
plenty of other opportunities.
But when people tell the
Besides,
story,
forbearance is good for the soul.
Spoken like someone who truly has no idea how to have
they never really set up the
I'm
story
sure I'll get the hang
right.
of it one of these days, especially with your expert tutelage.
Okay, let's go have a chat
Because
with Mrs. Hammond.
how can you know that
I'm
someone
sure
is
she'll be
stealing
delighted
from
to know
a work site without knowing that something is missing, i.e.
Damn.
knowing what's
Forgot
been
to bring my
stolen?
deck of cards again.
It just doesn't make
At least it's
sense.
quiet up here. I'm surprised we didn't go deaf after the last time we did this.
What?
I said, oh, right. Your sense of humor remains on point.
Miles, have you ever considered leaving all this behind?
What, you mean quitting the force?
Aww.
The Force, the city?
Well, the third Shenmue's
Don't
finally
often
Shenmue's
see what
finally
else
going
is
to
out
happen,
there,
which is nice.
I'd miss it too much. Wouldn't you?
Aww.
I was thinking I might visit Harley out west. She makes it sound like a dream in her letters. Wide open spaces.
Why did
fresh
they leave
air.
the light on?
I know I'm a city boy and would probably miss New Britannia's filth and squalor after a week, but
You should do it. Change of scenery never hurt anyone. Plus, it's much easier for you than it is for me. I've got a family to consider, after all.
right.
Oh,
Hey, heads down,
I
everybody.
didn't mean it like that, Bill. It's just...
Shh. I think I heard something.
Here we go.
Oh no!
Bill?
Idiot!
Police!
Damn it!
Although they
Get
did
out the
set
fire
that up
escape.
nicely.
We can corner them on the roof. Stay close and keep me covered.
Do you have guns? God damn it!
Stay back, officer. Got a knife. Ready your pistol for him.
But you're too close!
I trust you, Miles. Your pistol, now! There's really no need for this, officer. I respect your desire to uphold justice. Mine is more important. If you let me go, I won't come back. And we can all forget this ever happened. Don't listen to this lunatic, Miles. Take your shot before things get worse.
Uh-oh. God damn it. This is the big decision point that's going to change how the rest of the game plays out, isn't it?
Look, we've caught you red-handed. Put down the knife, let my partner go.
Oh, that's
and
a
give
knife?
yourself up.
No! I'm not going to jail. Do you know what they do to people in there?
Yes, I do. If you cooperate, I'll see if I can get the judge to ease your sentence.
I appreciate your tactics, Fordham, but this really isn't the time.
I'm going to reason more with
Come
the
on, all
burglar.
you've really done is taken some flowers. You're not a killer. Don't make things worse for yourself.
You don't know anything about me. One thing's for sure. I'm not going to jail. So let me go free, or else your partner is going over the side. Fordham, this madman clearly can't be reasoned with. Take
God
your
damn
shot
it.
Now!
Ugh. Fine, I'll shoot him.
No!
Oh, crap.
Bill! Oh, God! I am so sorry, my friend. I am so, so sorry.
Well, that sucked. Alright, I'm the worst. No wonder I quit the force to become a private detective. So do you think if I,
Rough night?
do you think
Oh,
if
we
I
did it
don't
on the
shoot him, the
soporific.
other guy will push him off the,
I feel like I've had
cliff
this
as he's
conversation
leaving?
before.
Cliff, the roof
I'm
as
just
he's
glad
leaving?
You're in the mood to converse again.
Oh,
Seriously,
he's stuck in
you
my
took
head.
so much of that snake oil last night, I was starting to think you wanted me quiet for good.
It's no personal slight.
Oh, he's
Just
stuck
need
in my
some
head
quiet
now.
time,
That's
or I'll go
great.
insane.
You are
I
insane.
get it. We all need our
You're
space.
obviously insane.
I know it's not easy, but there's really no need.
Not easy. Bill, I've been hearing your voice since you died. You don't shut up unless I take that accursed medicine. I'd say that qualifies as a bit more than not easy.
Yeah, well, how do you think I feel? You think I enjoy being trapped here, listening to you? You at least still have yours.
I'm losing my grip on reality. And it's all because
You're
of you.
already insane.
Believe me,
obviously.
I know. It's not a pretty situation. But the bottom fact is, so you can either keep
Aw.
living this way and ruin your life even more than you already have, or you can do as I've told you and try to figure out a way to let me move on.
Right. For the 1000th time, you want me to find the burglar from the flower shop.
Yes, exactly.
I still don't get how that's going to help.
I can understand your confusion.
true.
Considering it was you who killed me.
Hey!
The point remains. You wouldn't have been in that situation in the first place if not for
That's
him.
actually a very good
Once the
reasoning. It
criminal
wasn't
has
my
been
fault.
Caught and is in custody.
Okay.
Justice?
More than that, you'll have that elusive thing you always... Closure.
Aw,
You
sweet.
do realize the trail's pretty much frozen at this point. Our man has seemingly vanished into the ether.
That's no excuse not to
Thank
keep
you for
trying.
spelling ether
I
that
know
way.
The cases Upton's been giving you these past few months haven't been the most thrilling, but they've at least kept you active. So just keep at it. Something has
Aw.
to turn up eventually.
Damn right it
Unless,
does.
Of course, you want to wind up in Riverview Asylum. And if that
Ooh, do we get to
happens,
go there to interview
I'm
someone
really
later?
not going to keep quiet.
Fine.
Good man. Now, I suggest you stop talking to thin air. Or just maybe, just stop wondering.
Aw.
Very funny.
Bill is still the worst.
That's a fun little apparatus, Adelaide.
Watching it spin long enough puts me right to sleep.
I'd say that's really more the soporifics doing. I always like that self-portrait of Adelaide's mother, even if the eyes do always... Oh, wouldn't you say it's time for a change of clothes, Miles? You've been wearing that coat for who knows how...
So? Addie gave it to me. Besides,
Right. Brooding detective in a long black coat. That's never been seen before.
what are you talking about, Bill?
Never mind. Pretty.
Is he
I'm
referencing
glad I don't have a
Sherlock
sense of smell
Holmes? Because that would be
anymore.
hilarious. Okay, hat
You
box?
should have let me
Yes.
be buried wearing my hat. At least it wouldn't be gathering dust like it is now.
If I'd done that, it would be dust right now.
Heh. Fair point.
Well, it's only been 3
I'm
months,
certain
so
a
you're
permanent
probably wrong.
indentation in the shape of your... Don't worry,
Hilarious.
Miles. I don't watch when you and Adelaide are having...
It would be nice if you didn't spend the whole time humming.
I thought you appreciated some romantic music.
He's quite crazy. I'm enjoying how crazy he is.
Miles?
Just checking to make sure everything that needs to be in here.
Right. If you start taking that stuff during the day,
Aww.
it's admirable just how organized Adelaide is. Maybe someday the same...
Alright, let's go solve the murder of that friend
Well,
of mine
look who's
who...
awake. Ready to rejoin the living?
Very much so.
So, given the premise of the
We're
game,
talking
Bill
about
dies
something.
either way,
Did I say
right?
anything interesting?
Do you ever?
You have to admit, she's got you there.
How are you feeling?
A touch groggy. I think I took a bit too much of the soporific.
That's what I thought. When you went for your after-lunch nap, you'd barely gotten breakfast. I saved you some bread and
Ooh.
cheese if you're hungry.
Thank you, but I haven't got much of an appetite.
You really should regulate your doses more carefully, love. I'm sure dull senses and an empty stomach aren't...
That's
By the
true.
way, a message arrived via courier for you this morning. I put it on the table along with...
Thank you, dear.
Alright, message or newspaper? Newspaper, obviously. The Lygia. This Tuesday, crash the Lygia. Prairie makes second transatlantic voyage. Burst into flames. Oh, God. Prince Harold was killed? Oof. That's the problem with airships. Sometimes they explode. Okay. Gascoigne, Grand Dame dies. Ooh. Oh, so it's 1844. There you go. We just found out. It says that at the top of the screen, dummy. Oh, okay. I feel kind of silly now. Alright. So it's a high-tech futuristic 1844. Aethericity. Nice. Ooh, second bizarre murder. Nice. In Shumley, one occurred last month. Many details are confidential. Male and died from gunshot wounds. How's that bizarre? Yeah, they didn't have the term serial killer in 1844. They've only had the term serial killer since the 80s, but not important. Sooners, New Britain. Yeah, how is it bizarre? It's just a second murder. A guy got shot. Was he shot with a bullet with a clown etched on the ball? Probably not. Come in, which I think will interest you. Meet me at the Ronan Cafe House from Coffee House. Okay, nice.
Upton says she's got a big case for me.
Does she go into any more detail than that?
No, but then you know Upton. Always on a need-to-know basis. Especially since she's been giving me these cases under the table.
To be fair, they haven't exactly been anything of note.
True, but she's still sticking her neck out for me. I can understand why.
I think she just misses having you around the station.
Poor Connie. With you quitting and me dying, she must be bored stiff at...
Anyway, I'm supposed to meet her at the ruined coffee house. That can't be right.
It's not like Constance to make mistakes. She must have gotten in.
Guess I'll head over there and see what she's got then.
That's interesting. What's going on with this coffee
collection
house?
has always astonished me. You remember how much time Adelaide had to spend convincing you to sit for this? At least these days, with ferrotype tech advancing the way it is.
Oh, ferrotypes.
How are your parents doing these days? It's been ages since you wrote. Didn't I give
That's
you
true, I
that clock
should
as a
write
wedding
them.
present? Too bad it stopped. Building those model ships was a good way to pass the time.
Did
between
it
cases.
stop writing when he
Hopefully it'll be a while
stopped
before
running
you
when
get
he
enough time
died?
to build another one.
I
Building those-
agree.
hopefully it'll be. Adelaide's father certainly had an amazing life. Imagine being the personal barber to the Prime Minister and his family.
Ooh, that is fancy.
It's been so long since you used that desk. Did you even notice? I'd love to see the look on Snelling's face if he ever found out you.
I've got a truncheon, everybody.
Our first time out as partners.
The game is
First
called
in a long
Lamplight
line
City.
of successful cases. It's nice to have a memory of the
It
good
comes
old
out, I
days.
believe, on the 10th. I believe.
I shouldn't be gone too long.
I look forward to your return.
Thank you. It's very sweet of you. Alright, let's go check out the coffee house. Over by Gascoigne.
Ah, the Rouen Coffee House. Worst Java in Lamplight City, but there's no better place. Just make sure you don't get too close to the other patrons.
So why would she have trouble
All that
getting in
metal
here?
and tubing just to serve a hot cup of coffee?
Weird.
Self-Portrait as a Desperate Man by B. Calvert. A bit like looking in the mirror, isn't it, Miles? Nice seaside landscape. Definitely a stark...
So basically they've got him being in your head just so they're not doing the
The specialty
classic
house brews.
point-and-click
These are
adventure of having a
definitely
guy talk to
coffee.
himself all the time. Nice.
If it isn't my old friend, up to no good.
Hello, Florida.
Hilarious.
It's good to see you.
How did you get them to let you in here?
It's rather simple, really. The owner and I have an understanding.
Why wouldn't she get in here?
He pretends women are allowed in coffee
Oh,
houses, and
okay.
I don't report his unsavory business practices to Chief Snelling.
Sounds like a good deal. What sort of
They live in a
unsavory
crazy
business
backwards
practices are we
time.
talking
Gotcha.
about?
Oh, we haven't got time to get in, but take some advice. Don't order anything that isn't water.
Yikes.
I got your message.
It's time for you to join the big boys again, Fordham. Your days of finding lost cats are over.
Okay.
Stop teasing me and tell me what it is already.
Do you know Madame Laura Dupre?
No!
Laura Dupre. She's one of those Gascon Grand Dames, isn't she?
That's right. I'm surprised you've heard of her. I didn't think you cared about those types of people.
I don't, but Adelaide has several of them as clients. She gets paid to pretend to care about their lives, and
What
I
does
get
your
to hear
wife
the
do
sort of
for a
details.
living?
Madame Dupre died the day before yesterday. Her funeral was
Right,
held
I
this
read
morning.
about it in the paper.
My condolences.
But halfway through the service, the mourners heard a loud knocking coming from inside
What?
her car.
She wasn't dead?
Apparently not. Nearly interred alive. Dupre's son Andrew
Whoa.
was quick to suspect foul play. He accused a man named Albert Martin.
So where do I come in? Sounds...
I strongly suspect that Martin is innocent, especially considering the talk of him having used black magic on Dupre.
Nice.
The police feel they have enough evidence to convict, so they're not bothering to investigate any further. You're going to look into it and see if I'm right. Then find the person who was really...
Why not just ask Madame Dupre?
She hasn't spoken since the ordeal. Apparently, she's been catatonic.
I
since they
actually,
pulled her out
that
of the
makes
coffin.
sense. That would be my
How
reaction as
unfortunate.
well.
If you'd like to question Mr. Martin, he's being held at the Bow Street Jail. Or you could take a
Oh,
look
they're
around
spending
his
jail the
house.
old-fashioned
It's at
way.
451
Nice.
Compton Street in Worcester.
And the Dupre home?
That's at Emmeline and Comtesse, right across from the old Angeline convent. It's also possible you might run into the police during your investigation, since they're technically still on.
Thanks for the warning.
All right. Any other
Was there
info?
anything you wanted to talk about?
I do have a couple
Yes,
of questions.
actually, I
Thanks
had a
for being
couple
so
of questions.
understanding.
Let's hear them.
Oh, hey, do you think I can press 1, 2, 3, or 4
How
to
are things
do
going
these?
with you?
I can.
Work is
Yay.
hectic as usual, and I'm spending my day off. But considering my home life is still a shambles, maybe
Oh.
this is the best place to be.
I'm truly sorry.
Don't be ridiculous. If it hadn't been for you, I'd still be chained to
Oh,
that
we found out
blithering
the
bastard.
guy was cheating on her.
Hasn't been easy, but anyway, work
Nice.
gives me something to focus on. I'm sure you can relate to that.
Yes, and I'm grateful to you for getting me these case leads. I know you're taking a risk to do it.
It's the least I can. How about you? How's
Who's
Adelaide?
paying me
She's
for
fine.
this?
Although things between us, the less said about it right now, the better, I think.
I'm sorry to hear that. You can talk to me about it if you need to, although I'm probably not the best.
Aw.
Don't suppose there have been any developments.
Unfortunately not. The department hasn't exactly been focusing on that case as a priority. The general attitude is that it was an accident. Bill died.
Would have been nice if they bothered saying that at the funeral.
And of course there are still those who blame you for his death.
That's
Sterling
fair.
being the first and foremost.
So yeah, he
The man who
definitely
really
dies
caused
either
Bill's
way.
death is still out there.
I hope.
Yes, I know.
No, of course he does.
but
What am I
it
saying?
looks like you're on your own.
There's
if
no
you wanna
game if
find
he
him.
doesn't die either way.
My hands
I
are tied.
immediately want to
I can
restart
only
and try
ask
again.
around so much
Are there
before
multiple
the
save
higher-ups
files?
get suspicious.
Are there save files?
Just don't give up. New Britannia may be a big city, but the criminal world is. If you find any connections or leads during your other cases, I'll do the same if I find anything out.
Aw,
See,
so sweet.
She has a priority.
I wanted to go over the case.
Okay,
What do you know about Madame?
only what I've read about her in the paper. She's been married thrice, which I can empathize
Thrice.
with, and
Nice.
she's extremely.
What makes you think this Martin fellow isn't?
The fact that the only evidence is the word of Dupre's son. I've seen this sort of thing thousands of times. and
His
I'm sure
son,
you did
a,
too.
are you ready for
You're
this
just
word?
looking for a
Rouet.
scapegoat. You're the only person I know who can put it right.
Upton's intentions are noble, but she has to realize.
Rouet
this
is one of my
Johnson
favorite words to
That's
describe
enough
a
about the case
look.
for now.
Okay,
That's it, I
then you'd.
And I guess personality type too.
Well, I'm not entirely sure how this is going to help you find the flower shop burglar, but I suppose.
Aw. If you're not familiar with what a rouet is, it's when someone has dressed formally, but then like over an amount of time, they've kept their formal clothes on, but they've like undone buttons and rolled up sleeves and generally loosened ties. That is the rouet look. Slightly mussed up hair and whatnot. Yeah. And for example, the prototypical rouet is the mentalist, who always wears a three-piece suit and is always rumpled in his three-piece suit. What I'm saying is, I like to talk about the
Not too
mentalist,
far from Restaurant Row. When's the last
which
time
is
you
the
ate
best.
anyway?
Please, let's not add eating to the list of things to...
Oh. Alright. Hey, Rebel. Good morning to you.
I'm sorry.
Like that famous song of the same name. Although you probably know that song by a different name. And if you can tell me the name of that song, you probably, the more popular name of that song, Good Morning to You, be the first commenter below the video to mention it, you'll win a prize. Just put in the time code for where in this video I asked the question, so I can check your answer and award you your prize. A code for my Steam grab bag of Steam games.
I need to speak with you about Albert.
Albert? Are you with the police?
No, I'm a private
I'm
investigator.
streaming. I can't tell you the answer. I'll tell you later.
I'm sorry.
Sorry to bother you.
Then
I'll be
get
on
a
my
piece
way.
of paper for
Good
me
day
to
to
write
you,
it
sir.
down. Okay, she was not helpful. I'm gonna annoy her.
You again. I told you I have no time for visitors.
Sorry to bother you. I'll be on my way.
Good day to you, sir.
Don't you dare give this away loudly. There you go.
I'm glad that Coulson still uses horses. I don't trust the new self-driving cabs.
Google it.
I'm glad that Coulson still uses horses.
I thought you meant from...
No. I said,
Considering
what
how
is a
many eating
famous
establishments
song
are
with
in
a
this
better
neighborhood,
name?
Butcher picked a fantastic spot to set up shop. I do notice a distinct lack
Obviously.
of stray cats in this neighborhood, though.
Okay.
Considering how many eating establishments, I do notice.
Yeah, no, I know. What's in this box? Light. Can I climb in through a window and now sneak in next door? Also, I did not mean to do that, but we're going to do that anyway. Alright. Dupre Manor, Rouen Coffee House. Gotcha.
Fordham? Is that you? You look like something a cat spat up.
Hello, Giles. It's lovely to see you too.
Oh, Giles. Apparently you're the worst.
What brings you round the jail? I thought you'd quit being a
I'm looking to speak with Mr. Albert Martin.
Oh, I see. Well, I'd say what needs saying as quick as you can, though. He's headed for the gallows in the morning.
So they don't do trials here?
No trial necessary when there's black magic involved. This little...
Such a charming fellow.
Okay, this place is crazy. We're just detectives back in the 19th century solving spooky mysteries.
No, I'm actually here to help you. The name's Miles Fordham. I'm a private investigator.
How are you going to help me?
Through private detection, obviously.
I believe you're innocent.
Oh, thank heaven.
Would you mind answering a few questions for me?
Friend, if it means saving me from the noose, I'll tell you nothing.
Interesting choice of phrase for someone who...
Is it though?
What can you tell me about...
What's to tell? She's a twisted, evil woman who got
Wow.
what was coming to her. Whoever attacked
Do you
her
want to
deserves
get
some
hanged?
sort of reward for the service they're doing the community.
So it wasn't you then?
No, I'm innocent, Mr. Fordham. You have to believe me.
I'm
I would
afraid you're
love
not
to
making
believe
that
you.
very easy, right? Do you know anything about the circumstances of Madame Dupre's supposed
And who
death?
would hate someone so much that they tried to bury them
Then why did
alive?
her son accuse you?
Probably
Via
because he's
curare.
just as ignorant as she is.
What I meant was, how did her son know?
Yes, you could say that.
Uh-oh. That gleam in his eye says it all.
You see, I'm involved with Dupre's daughter, Juliet Montgomery. Dupre doesn't like that.
Oh,
one
sorry.
bit. She
I said
She even threatened me once.
Is
the
that
song
right?
Good Morning.
Yes. She might have
And
everyone
then I
else
said you
fooled,
probably
but
know it
that
better by
woman
a
is the
different name.
Devil incarnate. I can't understand how something so heartless and cruel could have spawned someone as pure and loving as my dear Juliet.
He's
That's
not really
fine.
helping his case.
Tell me about Juliet.
She's wonderful. Such a beautiful, kind soul. She
Who
hasn't come
definitely
see
tried
me
to
yet,
kill
but
her
I'm sure
and
that's
framed
because
you
of
for
all
it,
the
obviously.
confusion. Juliet wouldn't believe for a second that I would be capable of harming her mother. I'm sure of it.
How did you two get in?
We met at the university.
Your
What were you
classmates?
studying?
Hardly. They
People
wouldn't
be
allow someone
racist
like me
in,
to enroll
this
there.
town.
Juliet studies botany. I work as an assistant in the greenhouse.
Well, it is
We
Brittany,
started
so
talking,
yeah.
and she actually treated me like a person. But Juliet actually wanted to hear what I had to say.
Why was he fetching
Had the
test
same
tubes if he
taste in
worked in the
books and
greenhouse?
art. Didn't just treat me like some piece of... She even shared some of her notes with me after I told her I was interested in botany as well. From there...
Wait a
things
minute,
just
an interest in
got
botany.
better.
Are these the
I
guys
don't
who were
expect you to
dealing with the
understand or approve, but that's how it happened.
lily
Oh, you'd be
thefts?
surprised. It doesn't sound too different to how my wife and I got together. Except I was a detective.
Oh,
and she
don't
was
you
a
remember
singer
there's
at a
the
bar.
And she's...
the special
Yes, Mr. Martin. Anyway, back to the matter at hand. How often is Juliet in the greenhouse?
the botany machine
Every
from the
weekday,
upstairs,
but I
the
doubt she's
unused
there
botany
now.
machine from
She's
upstairs in the
probably
flower
trying
shop.
to find out where I am and working to have
That
me
might be a
released.
reach.
Somehow, I wouldn't...
Okay, let's go talk to Juliet.
How did
which
you end
makes
up in
him some
here?
sort of a
I was
Romeo
just
type
minding
character.
my own business at home when the police showed up with no warning. They made some outrageous claims about me putting some sort of curse on. Oh, Mama must be beside herself with.
What does your mother do?
She helps.
I was hoping you'd be just a.
She provides spiritual help to those
Aha!
who seek guidance.
She's a spirit.
Not quite. She's more like, you know how a priest holds mass to spread the word of God to the people? My mother holds services and calls on the spirits to walk among us.
So she's a religious leader?
A houdun,
If you
if
want
you
to give her
prefer.
that title, it would be the...
And does this religion of yours have an...
You'd probably know it as voodoo, but...
I go by
it
houdun, but
doesn't
okay.
mean what you... People are so quick to judge and portray us as evil when they have no...
So you practice voodoo, do you?
Are you making fun of...
No, of course not. Apologies if it seemed as though I was.
There's nothing
It's
about
just
his
the
tone that made
police
it
are
seem he
convinced
was
that
making
black
fun of him.
magic was involved.
That's because that idiot son of hers knew about my mother, and like all
See, okay,
ignorant
now that
fools,
makes sense.
assumed that we're... But I can assure you that this is most certainly not the case.
Of course. I didn't mean to imply.
Just for...
That's all for now.
Wait,
Honestly, you
before
shouldn't be getting your
go,
back
would you do
up.
me a favor? Would you go see my mother at our house and...
You're at
Yes.
451.
Yes, that's right. Could you tell her I said
Uh-oh.
St. Rock's dog is barking?
That
I
sounds
suppose
like
I can
an
do that.
Thank
evil
you.
Steve.
Whatever happened to a simple I love you?
Oh, sorry, Panda. You can... yeah, that makes it really hard to guess. There's the jail. Let's go back and talk to the mother again. First, we're going to see if we can save. I don't think we can, which actually raises the question, how am I going to... Oh, what am I saying? Of course we can save. Saw the save early. Voodoo password. The reason I'm saving is, what if telling her this makes her do something evil and it screws up my ending? It's called saving, people. Look into it.
You again? I told...
You're Albert Martin's mother, aren't you?
Who are you?
Miles Fordham. I spoke with Albert, and he said to tell you that St. Rock's dog is barking.
Oh,
That's
good. That's very good. You better come in, Mr. Fordham. Standing on the street.
I did not realize this quiz was
Welcome
this
to my
obscure,
home,
Panda. I thought this
I
was
am
a pretty
Sabine
easy
Martin.
one, although I'm
I
very
hope you understand.
bad at judging
Albert
these
has
things.
nothing to do with this. Would you care for some tea?
Well, her tune certainly changed.
No, thank you, ma'am. I won't be staying long.
I just need to know about your spooky voodoo nonsense.
The Virgin Mary. I must admit, she was the last person I was expecting to see in here.
That's because you don't understand that voodoo is a combination of African animism and Catholicism invented by the slaves of the
For
Caribbean.
all we know, that rider is some sort of demon. He looks like he's having a good time.
So the
at
Virgin
least.
Mary factors very prominently
A rather
in
unremarkable book collection, I'm sorry
voodoo.
to say. That statue, on the other hand, gives me the willies.
Take your time, Hans. Absolutely take your time.
That pattern resembles a flower. Too bad it isn't an Easter lily.
For example, if you
Interesting.
wanted,
Those pots
there are
look as
some
though they've
sects
been
of
wrapped in
voodoo
tobacco leaves.
where the Virgin Mary is represented by a mermaid. So you might see a person with a mermaid tattoo,
It's
and
some
that's a
old
way
man with
to
a
show
dog
their
standing at the
fealty
center of
to
a crossroads.
Virgin Mary.
That's meant to have any sort of significance. It's
And if you
completely
know what
lost on
episode
me.
of and if you know what episode of television that's a reference to, be the first commenter below the video to mention it, and win a prize. Just put in the time code
I'm
for where in
afraid
this video
that
the
room
quiz
is
was.
private, Mr. Fordham. I must respectfully...
Of course.
It's where the human sacrifice
pattern-
happens. I'm kidding. They don't do human sacrifice in voodoo. You're thinking of Santeria. Now that's prejudice.
I've got a few questions for you, Mrs. Martin.
They only
I'll try
sacrifice
to answer
chickens.
them the best I can.
Sometimes goats. I am not referencing Sing in the Rain, Panda.
Do you think your son is capable of doing what he stands accused
Something
of?
way more
Never.
famous than
Albert
anything from
wouldn't
Singing in the
harm a
Rain.
fly.
That's what the mothers always.
Why don't you tell me a bit more about him then?
He started working at the university laboratory a
Yeah,
few
I'm
years
the
ago.
only one that
I was so proud of
Oh,
him.
it's a
The
hard
university is
quiz.
quite
I didn't think it
selective.
was, but I know the
Stanford
answer,
staff
so
as
why
well
would I?
as its students.
Yes.
I always told Albert to be careful around those high society types,
Aw.
but that one always thinks.
Is she sure that's the correct body part?
He's all the
Ouch.
Do you know anything about Madame Laura Dupre?
I never met her in person, but I know plenty about her.
Like what?
Nothing fit for polite conversation, Mr. Ford.
Burn.
But I can tell you this. Laura Dupre has far more enemies.
Does that include you or your...
It most certainly...
What do you know about Juliet? Madame...
I know Albert was smitten with her. No matter that I told him to be very careful around her
Rich
kind.
people. They're the
Those
worst.
Rich Creole families don't care much for people like us. To them... But from his telling, Juliet sounded to be a decent soul. It's a...
All right.
Indulge my cur...
Saint Rock is the patron saint of dogs, as well as the falsely accused. If he sent the message along with you, it means he trusts you, and that I should too.
Oh.
Perhaps you were hoping for something more? That's just the way of mysteries, isn't it?
How do you mean?
The thrill of the unknown is always more exciting than the truth. Mystery makes life a little...
True.
Damn it, I didn't mean to... See, the problem is they know all about voodoo, and the pufferfish powder they use in voodoo can make you... Like that they use to make zombies, can make you seem dead for long enough to get buried alive. Like, that's how they make zombies. So... It wouldn't be crazy if the actual drug used had some connection to this family. Do you not want to win a prize, Francisco?
A delightfully vague answer, if there ever was one.
Is that it?
Something a bit more specific, please.
I'm a Mambo Asogwe. That means what you call a voodoo queen. I'd give you a detailed explanation of the responsibilities and duties of the role, but your time would be better spent clearing my son's name.
Can you tell me a bit more about your religious practices?
What I can tell you is that
I never suggest people give up their free games. Well, it's not free. You have to win a
About
prize.
black magic or dark spells or turning people into the living dead. It's about
That's true.
healing.
They can just also do that.
Naturally, there are
I'm
misguided
kidding.
souls who may try to use it for...
Sounds like you hit a sore spot. Might be a good idea to stop.
I think I'll take you up on your offer for tea.
Yeah, sorry, I dropped my...
You'll have to give me a few minutes.
Sorry about that sound. I dropped my iPad on the microphone. It's very embarrassing. Come on, let's get a peek. Oh, damn it, she didn't go into the back room. Ugh. So frustrating. Gives me time to look around, though.
Collection, I'm sorry.
And then he saved so he could peek into the back room while she was out.
Amazing. Even more voodoo stuff.
Good question.
They obviously have some importance to her. I'd suggest asking, but...
That's fine, Francisco, but the prizes are open to everyone.
Should be ready in a few minutes,
It's not
Mr.
just for
Ford.
the stream.
You can
That's
help
why the
yourself
prizes
once
are
it's
also...
You're very kind,
the
Mr.
prizes are valid both in the stream and in the video versions. So, for every prize I do in a stream, there's actually 2 available.
I'll try to answer them the best I can.
Also, you are a viewer, so... Yeah, we're not going to talk about the back room just yet.
Interesting. Those pots look as though they've been wrapped in tobacco leaves.
Aren't you going to have your tea, Mr. Fordham?
I'm afraid I just remembered something important I need to look into.
Suit yourself.
I don't know if I trust her about the tea. What's that? Did you just look up the quiz answer?
Yes, but I think you have the quiz slightly wrong.
I definitely don't.
The song is called
Huh. It's as though we've journeyed to the tropics. I don't know how you can stand to keep
It's
that
nuts.
coat on in
It's
here.
fine.
I think that's important.
Yeah, but if I tell them the exact title, then they can just Google it, can't they? Yeah.
Well, maybe you should
Those
mention
flowers
that.
are definitely
What's
not...
I
that?
literally
What's the
just
full
did.
title of the
You
song?
understand that they can hear everything we're saying, right? Alright.
Pardon the disturbance, but are you Juliet Montgomery?
I am.
That's true, you would.
And you are?
Miles Fordham. I'm a
There's one specific
investigator
quiz that I
looking
have
into your
given,
mother's attempted
I think,
murder.
upwards of 30 times. So if anyone figures out that quiz,
Yes, that shouldn't
other
be a
than
problem.
Shaggy, who just refuses to answer it out of, decency, if anyone else figures out that quiz, they could go through my hidden object games and win 30 prizes.
Do you know anything about the events
If they
leading up
found
to your
all of the
mother's
instances,
premature
of
internment?
course.
No, it was a complete shock. Mother
I'll
seemed
tell
to be
you later.
perfectly healthy
We're
and full of
on
life.
a speech right
Then,
now.
without warning, she was
Although I
gone.
guess I can tell you which quiz
so
it
we
is.
thought.
I take
It's
it you
the
were
one
glad you were
about
wrong.
Some
What a
statues have a
ridiculous
blank
question.
eye and a
Of
blank
course I
eye.
was. What sort of heartless
Yeah.
beast would celebrate their mother's death?
Oh, I could name a few. Juliet definitely didn't shed any tears over Madame Du.
Miss Montgomery, you don't have to
That's
lie to
true.
Me. I'm not going to assume you tried killing your mother just because you weren't upset by her.
So there are
I felt terrible about it. You
excellent
have to
point,
understand, I
Hans.
didn't want her to be dead. I just felt a sense of relief. Please
Aw.
don't think me a horrible person, Mr. Fordham. It's just
I
that Mother and I
shan't.
aren't currently on the best.
Why don't you?
We've never completely seen eye to eye on anything. She always disapproved of anything I did. When I was younger, she used to forbid me from speaking to the. I saw no harm in a
Ooh.
kind word or smile, but she warned us that if we were too familiar, then when I declared my intentions to pursue academic studies, she really went livid.
I guess she was
In her
just
opinion,
supposed
the
to be
university
a
education was tantamount to a chastity belt.
yeah,
What
of
sort
course.
of man would want a wife with a head full of useless facts?
She wants her to be a society
Personally,
dame.
I've always felt.
I assume your mother didn't approve of your involvement.
A rather forward question, Mr. Fordham.
I'm a private detective
You're
trying to
not
keep
mistaken.
someone out of a
I'm
noose.
not
I'll be
sure
as
how she
forward as I
managed to find
want,
out about
lady.
Albert and me. But when she did, as I'm sure you can understand, the situation at home has been less than perfect in the last few months. I'd really rather not dwell on it.
You mentioned you were friends with the servants.
Yes, that's
That
right.
would be the fast
I
way to
don't
do
care
it,
that they
Panda.
work
Although
for
then
us.
you'd
Everyone
find
needs a friend.
200
Did your mother ever mistreat
quizzes.
them?
Mistreat? No, I wouldn't say so. She was always very stern, though, and quite cold. If they ever
Ooh.
shirk their duties, most of the servants are my
Whoops,
friends,
sorry.
but I'm closest with Amelie, the kitchen maid. Mother wasn't too happy about
You know,
that.
if it was
Amelie's
voodoo
been
dust
around
that
as long
caused
as I
the
can
mother
remember.
to go
She's like
into
the
her
aunt I never
catatonic
had.
state, it's possible the Mambo here would have a
Can you tell me
cure
about Albert Martin?
for
I'm
it.
not quite.
Why not start by telling me what your relation?
We met here at the greenhouse. He was working
Or
as
at least
an
a
assistant,
treatment.
sweeping and cleaning and fetching things for the students.
You're probably
My
right,
focus
Hans.
was on academics, naturally. I wasn't too interested in romance. In fact, I've had to turn away. But with Albert, I found
Ooh.
myself intrigued. I noticed him stealing glances, lingering just a bit too long after bringing over a book or flask, sweeping the
I would
same
not say
patch of
every,
floor
but
near
a
me
lot.
Over and over. It wasn't too long before I had him bringing me tools and equipment.
I see.
As I mentioned, Mother was an absolute.
Do you believe Mr. Martin
did
what
she
he stands
find
accused
out?
of?
I'm not entirely sure. It doesn't seem like. If the police believe he's to blame, then they must have a reason for it. Perhaps I should have ended things sooner. It was satisfying to know that Mother was displeased.
Well, it's nice to see.
So, you study botany. Fascinating subject.
Are you an admirer of plants, Mr. Fordham?
You make
My
a
wife
strong
has the
point,
green
Hans.
thumb in the household, but I do have a certain appreciation for them.
Plants are
Also, there's
amazing
plenty of,
things, just like people in many ways.
in any given
How do you
hidden
mean?
object game video,
They
there's
need
probably a
attention
quiz or
and
two.
care. Ignore a plant, and it will wither. Give it too
Mostly
much
about
attention, and it will
laboratories and
become
where
sick.
they're located.
Plants have many things to teach us, and I greatly enjoy learning.
These plants are impressive
Yes, I've developed a method to make them extra healthy and strong.
and larger than
Ooh.
anything I've ever seen.
Curare?
I can't reveal
Is it
my
curare?
secrets, Mr. Fordham. The world will hear about my discovery soon enough.
Incidentally, do you know anything about Easter lilies?
No, I don't keep or grow those here.
No more questions for now.
Then if you don't mind, I have work to do.
Those flowers are definitely not native to this area. Quite the assortment of plants.
Yeah, that's correct.
I wonder if they serve.
If someone was industrious, they could win 2 prizes with the same quiz answer.
Pipe, that contraption
And
must
they
be
would
used
be
to keep
allowed
the
to do
plants
that.
hydrated. It looks like a giant earwax remover to me. I've never seen a flower grow that big. What do you suppose they're feeding them?
That's why whenever someone gets a correct answer on the quiz, I don't say it out loud in the quiz. I just say I don't talk about what the quiz answer was. I just say you've correctly answered the question. So then we move on, and then in the video the quiz is still valid for the next person.
Sir.
Damn. This guy's a dick, huh?
I'm Miles Fordham, private investigator. I'm looking into the incident.
You assume correctly, Mr. Fordham. My apologies, but I thought the police had already made an arrest.
That's right, but there's still some doubt as to the man's guilt. May I ask your name?
I am Dr. Fellows, Madame Dupre's private physician.
I'm afraid she's in no state to be answering questions.
Are any other members of the family home?
Her son, Mr. Montgomery, is in the entrance hall. I had to give him a mild sedative to settle his nerves, but he should be
Oh my
all right
god,
to
what if it
converse.
was sodium
Then if you
pentothal?
don't mind, I'll have a look
Please
around.
tell me he gave him sodium pentothal. Oh my god, there's a parrot
Are
we
you
can
the new
quiz.
servant? No, I'm Miles Fordham. I'm a private
We can quiz the
investigator
parent to
looking into
the
your
parrot to
mother's
find
attempted
out who the killer
How
is.
did you know I was her son? Oh, of course. You must have sensed it with your
Are you feeling all right, Mr. Montgomery?
Yes, I'm fine. Much better than when though. But I like you, Mr. Fordham. I can already tell you're not like.
Yes. Well, I'll have a look around, and
I can. In fact, I really look.
If the good doctor
Wow,
gave
he's
him
the
a mild
worst.
sedative, I hate to see what the stuff you take would.
Alright, so, statue. Nothing. Painting. Nothing. Pretty bird.
Parrot must have cost the Dupre's a cool copper. Dupre looks like she's holding on to that poor bastard for dear life.
That is absolutely not what that picture looks like. Okay. Let's check out the kitchen, talk to Amelie. Oh my god. It's red peppers, but that would mean...
Judging by the amount of food this family probably eats, washing the dishes must take forever. Looks like the type of spices you'd use in a stew. Most likely paprika or turmeric. Nice variety of reds and orange.
Paprika is the best.
Yeah, looks
He's
like
not
lumber's
wrong.
on the menu tonight. I wonder how it compares.
Okay.
Times like these make me wish I.
You're so weird,
Pardon,
Bill.
miss.
And terrible.
What? Who are you?
I'm Miles Fordham. I'm investigating the attempted murder of...
Oh, I'm sorry, sir, but I'm very busy. I can't help you.
I love that finally we've got a character doing an accent.
Amelie, please.
How
I need
long
to
did
know
that
what
take?
You know about Madame Dupre.
An hour and a bit?
Well, how did you know my name?
Juliet told me about you.
Miss Juliet?
See, this conversation would go
Yes,
differently
I
if
spoke
we
to her at the
hadn't
university. She mentioned you two were friends.
talked to Juliet
Yes,
first.
That's right.
Look, Amelie, I'm just trying to get some information. And I have a feeling you can be very helpful if you just let me talk to you.
That's
All
so
right,
reasonable of
fine.
you, Mr. Detective.
But do it as fast as you can.
Or is it actually Dr. Detective? What's that? It's definitely not? Oh, okay.
Tell me about Madame Dupre.
Oh, I really shouldn't, sir.
It would greatly help my investigation if you did.
Madame Dupre was kind enough to hire me as her cook. It's hard to get jobs in the city. Lots of people want their servants to use those new machines.
Oh, washing
My
machines?
sister's brother-in-law got half his leg blown off by one of those new ovens.
Jesus.
He's lucky he wasn't killed. So I'm plenty happy
Oh,
working
steam-powered
here doing
ovens,
real
gotcha.
people's work. But Madam can be difficult sometimes.
Difficult?
Yes,
What do you mean
unless
by that?
Chapter 1 was the whole flower shop incident, in which case I have violated the don't stream this game embargo by quite a bit. Actually, let's just briefly check that. Give me 1 second. I'm a little worried.
No, I'm sorry.
What can you tell me about Andrew?
He ain't so bad. Kinda has a whole private part of the house. But that's better for
Oh.
me. Way less to clean.
What do you
That's
know about
interesting.
Juliet?
She was always so kind to me and the others.
Yeah,
But her
Bill's
mother don't
definitely
like that
dying
one
either way.
bit. Still, she sneaks down
And
into
he
the
did tell
kitchen
me to
keep
shoot, so-
company some nights. Even though she's a good soul, I think part of her does it just as.
I'd say my guy was a notably bad shot, but back then it probably wasn't even a
Are you the only
rifle
remaining
barrel,
servant
so
here?
there you go.
No, there's another one, Marcel. He's the new gardener. I haven't seen him in a few days, though. Not since before Madam's incident.
Thank you, Amelie.
You're welcome. Now, please.
Okay. I don't know if I trust this Amelie character. Mostly because of her suspicious name.
This is always my favorite part.
Nothing inside but a bunch of extra doilies.
How disappointing. Maybe you should steal one, just to spite Madame Dupre.
No, Bill.
You're no fun, Miles.
Aww.
Nice bouquet of roses. Although it would make things much easier if they were Easter lilies.
If only.
Ah, the Gascon docks. The artist definitely took some liberties. Must be
Hilarious.
nice being able to afford keeping your oil lamps lit during the daytime.
That is a weird thing to do, you're right. And if you know what... Do you want to turn that into a quiz for people, Hans?
Fainting couch. You know, I always wanted one of these, but I never fainted enough to justify buying one.
Yeah.
A much younger Madame Dupre. I suppose that's a nice alternative to a mirror.
Burn!
Choice and consequence. Who in their right mind would write a book about
Equestrian mesmerism.
That one's about.
Nice.
I read that one last year. If you ever wanted to know the intimate details of a buffalo's anatomy, doesn't appear to be very brief if there's 2 volumes of it. I wonder if anyone outside the family would find this even remotely interesting.
No, Panda, I think Hans is saying that that will cause the hostage to collapse and not be usable as a hostage because a criminal doesn't have the strength with one arm to hold up a hostage.
This even remotely interesting.
Honestly, that's a good reason for most hostages to just, you know, at a key moment, just fall. Just let your body go limp. It's not like the hostage taker will be able to hold you up.
I wonder if anyone outside the family would find this even remotely interesting.
Especially since they have to do it with just one hand.
Now that one sounds interesting. I was always a fan of Bedletter's short stories. One of those melodramatic romances. I read it a while back, and I couldn't tell you a thing about it.
There's a missing book here,
Doesn't
though.
appear to be very brief if there's 2 volumes.
If I could just find an extra book, maybe we'd open the secret passage behind the bookcase, huh?
Let's see if there's anything in these drawers. Damn, nothing but personal effects and more stationery.
Don't forget the first rule of detective work.
Yes, of course.
I'm not going to warn you again, you disgusting mulatto thug. Stay away from my daughter and my house, or I'll... Jesus!
That's an old uniform. From the turn of this must be Madame Dupre's first husband. Kind of strange that she'd still keep his portrait in the bedroom.
Oof.
You've got some huge bags under your eyes, Miles. Reminds me of the case we had on that strange train.
Don't remind me.
Was it a terror train?
Nothing else of interest in there.
And if so, what kind of, what famous comedian was the killer dressed as? Good first commenter below the video to be able to explain that reference I just made. You'll win a prize. Just put the time code for where in the video I did this quiz. So I can check your answer and award you your prize, a Steam game from my grab bag of Steam codes. Which includes, it might, I mean, people, by the time you hear this...
empty. How unusual.
Not to mention disappointing.
If might be gone by the time you hear this, but last I checked, there was still a Saints Row 3 on that grab bag list.
If I hadn't already retired from life, that is.
Waka waka.
Well, someone's fancy. I never liked these types of beds much.
Canopy beds,
they feel
really?
Too
I think they're comfy.
I always thought they had a certain appeal myself.
Yes, you would think that about a bed that lets you shut out the rest of the world.
Okay.
I've
Also
never seen
keeps
so many
dust
beauty
out.
products together in one place. Doesn't look like they get used much, though. Juliet really likes plants and flowers, doesn't she?
Damn right she doesn't.
I've never seen so many beauty products together in one place.
So I still can't open the chest. I don't, like, look under it for a key or something? Alright, so I need her key. Search the desk again just to be safe.
They're all empty.
Not to mention
That is unusual. Can I check
someone-
under the bed, under the
Yes,
couch? Oh,
you
wait!
would think that about a bed.
Yeah. Damn it! I really thought the hidden key was going to be inside the cup of the lamp up there. Of course, who could possibly be tall enough to put a key in a place like that? If you can answer that quiz question. We're going nuts with quiz questions today. To hide a key in there.
Went overboard with the flowers.
Aw.
This brings back
ones I'd rather forget.
Who would be tall enough to put a key in a cup like that in a part of a glass chandelier? If you can answer that question, be the first commenter below the video explaining who might do that and what that's a reference to, you'll win a prize. Just, you know, time code like I always say. Hey, phonograph, let's get a screenshot. I don't know who Sam Hyde is, so no. Tweezers, yes!
useful.
That means I can pick the lock, I assume.
the science of pharmacology.
It really does seem like
I only
somebody
wonder
made
what
some
sort of
curare.
potions Andrew concocts in this thing. Dr. Tennyson's vigor pills. These would make a sloth act like a hummingbird. Decadent. A gentle reminder that everyone's time... Is this really the best that medical science has to offer?
No, it isn't. Contraption,
What
nice.
is that thing supposed to be? Actually, I'd rather not know.
It isn't, and I don't know who Sam Hyde is, Hans Wang.
Decadent.
Point of fact, that quiz might be more difficult than it used to be, because it used to be a very popular costume.
Science
back in the day. I mean, before my day, but it was still in popular culture.
Decadent.
Alright, so I got the speed pills. Do you think I could get the woman to wake up with speed pills?
It must be a nice place to sit and listen to music.
Can I look at these flowers?
Why would
still no
anyone need
lilies.
so many flowers in one room?
Perhaps it's the...
Oh, sorry.
Why would anyone...
Perhaps it's to mask the odors of those chemicals on the workstation.
That's a strong argument.
Yeah,
Alright,
must be a nice
sofa.
place.
Nope.
Oh, look! It's one of those new audio cylindergraphs. I can't quite wrap my head around how...
Oh, cute. D. Sfugen and Sons in Heidelberg. So I need to find something to unlock the
I
secret
don't know
thing.
much about art, but I see Madame Dupre and I...
Waka waka. Alright, let's check out my clues now before I go and talk to the lady. Inhumation, nice. Okay. Recommended for use by men only. Alright, let's go talk to Andrew. So she was writing a letter to him, but it never got sent. Usually that would be enough.
I have some questions for you. Oh,
Madame
what
Dupre.
can you tell me about Madame? She came back from the dead. My mother, resurrected, just like.
This guy's the worst.
Yes.
I
heard
legit
you're
hate
the one
this
who
guy.
accused Mr. Mar. Oh no, I already talked to the police about that. I don't want to think about it right now. How do you typically spend your days, Mr. Montgomery? Oh, a little of this and a little. Nothing as exciting as what you. Ooh, tell me, do most bad people start crying when you catch them? No, Mr.
Oh, good, he's a
Montgomery,
psychopath.
Most of them don't. Well, that's a real shame, isn't it? What can you tell me about your sister, Julie? I'm reminded of a famous quote, Mr. Parting is such sweet sorrow. Let us part on good terms and avoid this. That's a rather exotic bird you've got. I like looking at him. That he does. You know, I've always wondered what he might.
It is bad. You're such a bad
Found
person.
this bottle of pills upstairs. Yes, I take those from time. You seem to be out. Yes, that is a pity. Where do you usually acquire them? Oh, they're available by mail order only. Thanks for your time. No, thank you.
This is ridiculous. He won't be of any... If it takes him as long to snap out of it as it takes you, well, there has to be a way to bring him back to his senses. Maybe...
Get more vigor pills? Would it wake him up? Or would it? No, I mean it would. Don't know why I always do the or would it. Oh, Dr. Fellows.
Doctor, may I ask you a few questions?
If it's any comfort, Dr. Fellows, your great-great-grandson, Brian, will become a famous zoologist. We're not doing a quiz based on that one. That was too easy.
Tell me about Madame.
She is a great woman, and I cannot imagine why something like this could happen to her. Or else, though this ordeal has been terrible, I am confident she will overcome.
Well, we can hope.
The power of her physical constitution is surpassed only by her strength of
You're starting to get
character.
creepy with
You
these
think he'd say the
compliments.
same things if he wasn't on her payroll?
What were the circumstances surrounding Madame Dupre's supposed death?
Her son, Andrew, sent for me a few days ago after finding her. As I was unable to detect a pulse or breath, I had no other recourse but to declare her deceased.
You suck at
I judged
doctoring.
that Madame Dupre had likely suffered a... It was most shocking to be proven wrong at her.
I can imagine. Where was the funeral held, by the way?
St. Denis Cemetery. Madame Dupre wished to be interred in the tomb of her father's family, name of Chester.
Perhaps I'll go have a look.
We definitely should.
May I ask exactly what...
A simple tincture of laudanum.
Of
is what I give
course.
all.
He seems a bit...
Hot? Meat kettle.
It can have that effect, but it usually wears off and...
Is there a way to bring him out of his condition sooner?
A stimulant would have the opposite effect, but I wouldn't recommend... It could have potentially harmful effects on his heart.
So,
of course.
win-win.
I wasn't planning on doing anything of the sort.
It's cute how you act like you have no experience in these matters.
How long have you been Madame Dupre?
5 years, and I've been practicing medicine for the past... I still spend a couple of days a week treating patients at Riverview Asylum.
Oh, good. Maybe if you're lucky.
30 years is quite a long time. You must have seen some
I have, yes. I can only wonder how things will change with all the speculation it can be used
To electroshock people back into... Yeah, of
tissue
course.
and instantly heal broken
Jesus.
bones, among other things. If you ask me, a good bloodletting will
Are
never
you
go
trying to
out of
tell me
fashion.
that they're going to use aethericity to make Frankensteins?
Did you examine Madame
Because I don't know if I'm
after she
okay with that.
reanimated?
Of course. Physically, she appeared to be in fine health, aside from minor dehydration. Mentally is a different story, however. She's remained in an...
Do you have any opinions on what caused Madame Dupre to appear?
The most likely cause I can imagine is some sort of...
What leads you to believe Madame Dupre was...
The symptoms she experienced were consistent with prior cases of poisoning I've studied. And there have been reported cases of these practitioners using poisons to make people appear
Yes,
dead.
it's called zombieism, but whatever.
I recall reading about a man in the West Indies who was given tetrodotoxin.
See, he's
that's
telling
the
us about the
toxic
puffer
secretion
shit, the
from a
fish stuff I brought up
pufferfish,
earlier.
Declared dead and buried. He appeared alive in his village some 20...
Doesn't that seem a bit...
Alright, we've got a clue.
I hope I answered them.
So does this lady want to talk to me, or not so
Her eyes are
much?
glazed over, and she's got a... If we didn't know she'd been buried alive, I'd say she was just exhibiting...
Waka waka.
For vast sums of wealth, Madame Dupre could probably feed a starving family for the next 30 years. Instead, she uses the money to keep her hedges. With her vast...
Oh, Bill, you're the best. He is the best. Alright, let's check out the graveyard.
Ah, St. Denis Cemetery. Best view in the
I think
city.
that's Denis, but
It's
whatever.
just a shame none of the residents can enjoy it. I think I'm buried around here somewhere. Nice view of the river from up here. You can hardly even see the cloud of
Aww.
smoke. This just goes to show you can't take it with you, so you might as well spend it all on... I don't know him. Must be a recent addition to the...
Hello, officer. I believe I
Good day,
need
you
some
officer.
help.
Good day, sir. Sure is a nice day to be walking around the cemetery, wouldn't you agree? I guess. Personally, the noise those bugs are making is starting to drive me crazy. Would you mind letting me in the tomb? Afraid I can't. This tomb is currently part of a police investigation.
Oh.
I think I saw someone being mugged at the front. Nice try, sir. You're just trying to get me to step away so you... What? No. In any case, there's another officer stationed at the...
Obviously, the other
If
officer
there
was the one doing the
somebody
mugging.
being mugged,
Duh.
He'd see it for sure.
Well, at the very least, it's nice to see the department is hiring...
Alright, so we gotta figure out a way
Says
around this.
Harrison. Doesn't look very opulent, so I guess it does... This just goes to show you...
Good day to you, off. Afraid I ain't got... Please.
Looks like people have left markings and offerings in front. You may think it's a silly superstition, but I wish you'd leave a bottle of Bollingworth at my grave every night. Looks
That
like
is a
people have... You may
crazy
Nice view of the
superstition. Alright, so what else can we click on this screen?
This
We
just
got
goes...
the tomb, we got the view, we've got another tomb. None of the plants.
This just goes to
Dude.
show you can't take...
Huh. See if she can tell me about this hoodoo situation.
I've got a few questions.
I'll try to answer.
Alright, no, I'm not going to ask her
my pleasure.
about the back room yet. I'm going to have to ask the son about the letter, and if he knew about it, then I'll ask the daughter about the letter and see if she knew about not son, accused.
Could I ask you some more questions, Mr.
It's
about this letter.
Albert, did you hate
the woman is cruel, sadistic, and bigoted.
That's obviously
when
the
she
case.
found out about my relationship with Juliet, she sent me a letter. So yes, but even so, I love her daughter. I wouldn't be so...
I beg your pardon?
Juliet and her mother didn't get along at all. I never asked why, but it was
intriguing.
We've got a clue, everybody.
That's all for now.
A brand new clue.
He's watching you like a hawk. Looks liable to...
How the heck am I going to check out that tombstone? Alright, Juliet.
Hello.
Time for you to come clean.
Hello, Mr. Ford.
What can you tell me about your brother?
Andrew, Mama, if you've met him, you pretty much know all you need to. He's had the whole world handed to him on a silver, but he's in for a rude awakening someday. Mother can only provide...
No more questions for...
Then if you don't mind, I have work.
So where am I going to get some speed? Like, he said he could only get it via mail. Wait, the ruined coffee house runs drugs out of the back of the place, right? I can buy some speed here.
Can we talk?
Go on, I'm listening.
I wanted to go...
Okay.
I seem to have hit a roadblock. There's an officer posted at Dupre...
Makes sense.
I've never seen him before. He's young. Has a small scar.
Ah, yes. That would be Officer Grant.
That would explain
He's
it.
only been with the department. I don't know a lot about him, but he's already got the reputation for being the type of police... Typical Southern gentleman, it seems.
Okay.
Madame Dupre's son isn't...
Is he refusing to...
More like incapable. The family doctor has him pretty well drugged to the gills. I need to find some...
Well, you know, we...
I have a feeling it will take something a touch more... That's enough about the case for now.
Okay.
That's it,
Then you...
Okay. Does she sell drugs?
Back and forth at lightning speed. All that...
Anybody want to talk to me about selling me some sweet drugs?
Good to see you. Judging by the sooty apron, this man is either a metalworker, just one of many patients, asleep at a...
Guess not. Okay. Come on, Speed. You can't be that well hidden. Can't go to the university. Well, let's see if I can do something with what she told me about the doctor. Or if I have to bring an item here.
Good day to you, officer. Afraid I ain't got time for idle chat, sir. Please.
Hans, no.
From up here.
It's actually a reference to a movie, not a video game. I should have made that clear. I should have said, what movie is it a reference to? That one's on me. Okay, so we checked out the jail, checked out here. Maybe the wife can let us know where we can find some speed.
I've managed to survive the wilds.
It's always nice to see you walk. So what's this big case?
If only. A Gascon Grand Dame was attacked and almost interred alive.
You mean Madame Dupre? The one who's a...
The very same.
Goodness. Tell me if there's anything I can do to help. I know you...
You're always a help to me, Addie. Though I assure...
I certainly...
Alright, come on. Give me some clues. Help me out here clue-wise.
Yes, dear.
Now you got ideas from Speed.
How's work going?
Oh, you can distract the officer, right?
Yes, one this evening. It's been a bit slow lately, but pretty soon it'll be debutante ball.
Oh, she's a hairdresser.
And all the Gascon
Gotcha.
Grand Dame. You sure I can't convince you to let me give you a little trim? You've been looking...
You really have.
I've got no need to go peacocking around.
I like it when you're clean cut. It brings out...
The way my eyes have been looking lately, I think it's... How are you? It feels as though we haven't seen much of each other these past few...
He's so sweet.
Fine.
Addie, you're not a very good liar.
I'm worried about...
I know, but I've told you there's no need to worry about me. I'm all...
You're not all right, Miles. I may not be a good liar, but you can't...
I am all right.
Aww.
I have to...
You could start by throwing out that sleeping medicine.
I needed to sleep, Addie. I'll become an even...
I know Bill's death was hard for you. But whatever it is that's bothering you...
poor Bill.
You know you can talk to me about it. That's what I'm here for.
I know, my love. Your support means the world to me. I need some time to deal with things. It won't always be like this, I promise.
Making promises you can't keep, eh, Miles?
Oh.
I've still got that song you sang last week at the Rutherford stuck in my head. You were amazing.
Thank you, Miles. That was a lovely evening.
Certainly nicer than when he spends hours telling the exact...
They were very glad to see you.
It's probably the most fun I've had in months, to be honest.
They've
So
invited us
sweet.
for dinner again in a couple of weeks.
Alright, so.
Do you know anything about Madame Dupre?
I've read that the Dupreys are one of the few wealthy families that exclusively... Rather commendable.
Yes. It makes it easy. Have you heard any gossip from your clients? Anything about whom?
Nothing. She's held in the highest regard by the other If she had actually died, I'd have expected them to petition.
What's that you're reading?
It's a collection of short stories by James Penstroke.
Any good?
Oh yes, I love his work. I can't wait to read it. Perhaps we...
Lately,
Brentwell magazine, you say?
Page for more than 5
I don't
minutes
know if
without
that's
nodding
significant.
off.
It probably isn't.
That is...
Alright.
I was wondering if you could do me...
What is it?
There's an officer posted in front of Madame Dupre's family tomb, and I need to get a look inside.
My wiles and charm,
Well, you are irresistible, darling. Say you've gotten lost in the cemetery and ask him to show you the way out.
Should we really be tricking a police officer like that?
There's no harm in it, and I won't be...
Alright.
Okay, time for some clues, everybody. Capital K, capital E, capital
Excuse me,
L,
officer.
capital
I was wondering
W.
if you could help me?
What do you want?
Wow, what a dick.
I seem to have gotten all turned around. Do you have any idea how to get to the front gate?
My suggestion would be to turn around and head back the way you came.
Yes, I've tried that, but I seem to just be going in circles. Perhaps you could point me in the right direction?
Stop right there. That's quite enough from you.
I beg your pardon?
Don't think I can't tell what your game is. You're trying to lure me away from here and into some alley where your gang of Sambos is gonna rob me blind.
Wow.
Exactly how many of them have you got lying in wait for poor unsuspecting fools you bring them?
Just one.
Oh,
And he doesn't
thank
appreciate
God.
you talking to his wife that way. You know, Miles, sometimes I forget
That
how
guy needed to get punched.
delightful it is to watch you lose your head.
Miles, was that really necessary?
I'm sorry, Addie. You know how I get with people whose minds are full of that rubbish.
Let's just get him out of sight before this lands both of us in jail.
Couldn't we just put him in the tomb?
I have to say, I wasn't expecting assaulting a policeman to be on today's activity.
It'll be fine. When you're on the force as long as I was, you can pretty much get away with murder.
Although
I hope
think
that
you
doesn't
may have
come up
already
later.
used up that privilege.
Well,
Okay,
it's
well,
been
I think mine
fun,
is-
but I need
Anyway.
to take my wiles and charm over to my appointment with Mrs. Lefebvre. I'll see you at home later, dear. Try to stay out of trouble.
Aww. They're the best. Ooh, wow. Weeping Angel.
That nest is full of eggs.
Perhaps she abandoned it.
Always assuming the worst, aren't
Can I grab
The
something in
nest
there
is
with a...
always
no?
assuming the...
Okay. Nothing to do with
What
tweezers
a
yet.
dramatic statue. What a dramatic... I suppose the whole heaven shining down upon the...
Okay, here's
These crypts
the...
are reserved for future generations of Chesterton.
There are only 3 left.
Then let's hope the Chestertons aren't opposed to spend... This must be what was going to be Madame Dupre's final resting place.
I don't see anything inside.
What? Were you expecting a note from her attacker?
No, but I was hoping for...
These crypts are...
There are only...
Then let's hope the Chest...
Okay, unmarked crypts. We've got the angel we can
dramatic-
interact with. Can't do anything with the windows.
John Patrick Chesterton, 1740. Desmond Chesterton, 1745 to 1810. Strong in life, stronger in death.
Heck.
Jane Scott Chesterton, 1746 to 1815. William Arthur Chesterton, 1770 to 8. Celine, 1823 to 1844. Sarah Chesterton, 1784 to 1812. I told you I was sick.
Wow, that's terrible.
Douglas Chesterton, 1791 to 1840. Good riddance.
Whoa!
Dale Chesterton, 1795 to 8.
These crypts are reserved...
There are only...
Then let's hope... This must be... What?
No.
So there's nothing else to check in here. Huh.
What a dramatic...
I thought there'd be something. So if you were
Looks like
speed
you may
pills,
have
where
a
would
nice
you
view of the
be?
river from up. Looks like people. You may think it's a silly.
Probably no idea, huh? Okay. Does she have a line on some speed pills? What's that? She definitely doesn't. Alright. See if the maid does.
Her eyes are.
Okay. Oh, you creepy, awful creep. Alright.
Stick around.
Don't
Okay.
worry.
Did I ever... I never tried picking the lock of that chest with the tweezers, did I? Let's do that one more time.
Locked.
So I can't use items? Alright, so you can't use items. Oh, crap. If you go to the menu... Alright. So I'm out of people to talk to. I'm out of places to search.
This quack. This
Found
fountain
him.
probably looked nicer when it was worked.
Okay. Alright, let's go ask her about the back room. We're out of stuff to do.
I've got a...
I hope this doesn't destroy our relationship.
I don't know about this, Miles.
Actually, thank you for...
My pleasure.
I copped out. I realized I should have saved first. Okay. Back room.
She's not.
Oh.
She's not gonna be much.
So once I've decided to not talk to her about the back room, that's it. Okay. Now I feel kind of silly for doing that. You know where I can get some speed there, buddy?
Else to ask him right now.
I'm literally out of people to talk to.
Judging, she's right.
We haven't anything to discuss.
All that.
Okay, so just to be clear, let's go look at our casebook and see what our objectives are. Question residents, investigate the Chester tomb. I did. Find a stimulant to bring to discover the source of Juliet and her mother's rift. Now, the weird part is, I found this letter threatening the guy with death, and I can't ask the mother about it. It's weird that her first draft was like, I'll kill you myself, and her second draft, the one he actually received, was, I'll send some dudes to kill you. I guess that's why she threw away the first draft, because obviously she's not going to do that. I have no suspects. Wait. Benzoyl methyl Echo 9. Alright. Yeah, I'm just not seeing it, people. If you have any suggestions for where is left for me to check, I would obviously appreciate it. Because I'm running out of E-Day.
And nest, perhaps always.
Yeah, it's weird that I can't check these flowers.
This? I don't. What?
No, but I.
And clicking there multiple times is accomplishing nothing, so. Let's take a powder. Ah, yes, games where you have to concoct stuff from chemistry formulae. Yeah, maybe I'll check the workstation, because maybe I can brew some myself?
It's been so long
Oh, that
since
probably
you
doesn't
used
make
that.
sense. I just thought I'd check my collection of drugs first.
Yes, your soporific is still in.
That was a stretch. Alright, let's go try the workbench. No harm in it, right?
As amusing as it.
Okay, Dr. Parrot. Alright, so let's check out the bottles.
Is this really the... What in the ether is... A gentle reminder. Decadent. I can only wonder... The science of... It looks as though
Aha!
this piece of... I hope remembering what page they were on...
Looks like it's a letter for...
Boom! Oof. There we go. I just missed the letter earlier, obviously. Alright, Weeping Angel.
What a dramatic... Hang on.
Give me your drugs.
Surprise, surprise! A hidden
Why, hello, Mr. Montgomery. Wait, is his name Montgomery? Anyway, have some drugs. His name is Dupre. No, it is Montgomery. Then why
I have
is...
some questions for you.
I'm so confused.
Judy.
She's been married multiple times, right?
You'll never believe what I found in your... Oh? Was it a ghost? No, it was these vigor pills. I see you really are good at your job, aren't you, Mr. Look, Andrew,
Thanks for the
I'm in
reminder,
the mood for
Francisco. I'm willing to overlook your unlawful activities in exchange for cooperation. Just be quiet and take one of these pills.
I'm willing to overlook... Fine, but you have to... I understand perfectly, which is... I suppose...
Alright, here we go.
Goodness, I always forget. You said you had questions, didn't you? Well, go on, ask them all.
Wow, that seems... I just hope we haven't...
What can you tell? I can't believe anyone would be so cruel as Mother is kind, and she's even good enough to hire actual people. Not many wealthy families
People
do
talk
that.
about that a
They just
lot.
use automated machines. How do you typically spend your days, Mr. Montgomery? What are your interests? I study pharmacology at the university. I'll be graduating next year. I just hope Mother has recovered enough by then to understand what's going on. She and Jean were so proud of me when I started university. I'd be so disappointed. I take it Jean is your... He is. Mother married him 5 years after... My condolences.
Oh.
Do you have a good... Not terribly. Truth is, I hardly ever see him. In fact, before the funeral... Where is he now?
Where is this, Jean?
I don't know for certain, but it seems... His hunting... Yes, he often goes there. It's his way of leaving polite society behind and considering what Mother just went through. Well, I would... Well, to be honest, I don't know why he's not here with...
Why do people...
That's a really good question.
Instead of facing them?
Alright, a new person to check out. Juliet.
What can you tell me about your sister, Juliet, smart as a whip, and just despite being the only woman in her class, she's made it. Impressive. I only wish Mother was more accepting of Juliet going to university.
Oh, but family matters are my favorite. It's always so reassuring to know how much worse off everyone else is.
Nice.
What exactly were the circumstances leading up to your mother's supposed death? A few days ago, I arrived home from school and found her collapsed on the floor. She wasn't breathing, so I immediately contacted Dr. Fellows. He examined. We were all completely shocked. I was devastated. She'd been in fine. You can imagine our surprise at the funeral when she sprang back to... What's your relationship? Mother always made it clear that they weren't part of the family.
Wow, you're the
Just
worst.
help. We've only got 2 on staff right now, though.
Who's this gardener?
How is it you know Albert Martin? He works at the greenhouse where my sister Juliet. The 2 of them were involved romantically, and Mother... What exactly made you suspect he was the one responsible for what happened? Well, I mean, it's obvious, isn't it? His mother... It's all out of spite, you know. He knew Mother disapproved of his relationship with Juliet, so he plotted to get rid of her.
Okay,
So
I
you're
mean,
running
I
some
get why
kind
you
of
think
pill
that.
business on the side. I'm providing a service, Mr. Fordham. Not everyone in this life
People pay top crown for luxuries like airship tickets, and Dr. Tennyson has a patent on the energy pill formula, and thus students use these kinds of pills all the time, you know. Academic rigors can be overwhelming, and concentrating
That's a good
can
piece
be
of
difficult
information.
without help sometimes. I've got the skills and the equipment. If I can replicate the formula, help my fellow student.
There's the fact that what you're doing is illegal.
Oh, you're starting to sound just... And just because it's illegal doesn't mean it's immoral.
You're probably the most altruistic person I've met all month.
Ouch.
The part is, it's true.
That's a rather exotic...
Yes, Ray is nice when he's quiet. But
who trained him?
I think he already knew some phrases when Mother bought him.
Thanks for your time.
So we need to get him some crackers and hear about his mysterious new phrases.
Who's a pretty bird?
Ray's a pretty bird.
Polly want a cracker?
No, thank you.
Pieces of 8?
Hi, matey.
That's adorable.
Ray.
So long.
Alright, we've got a new location. This is fascinating. Or do we? No, we don't. Oh, right, we can ask the sister where the hunting cabin is.
Quite the assortment of plants they...
Hello again, Miss Montgomery.
Hello, Mr.
Is there anything you can tell me about...
He's a kind man. He seemed rather upset at Mother's funeral, but I can't help but wonder.
Oh. What do you mean?
Just that I get the distinct impression that he and Mother's marriage is...
I'm starting to sense a trend here.
Your brother told me that Jean enjoys...
Yes, it's in Fenton Swamp. I went out there with him a few times, but frankly, the place is rather grotesque. All those stuffed trophies staring at you. Anyway, if you take the main road through the swamp, about 1.5 miles, you'll come upon a small dirt path that goes northeast. Take that until you see a small cabin on the left.
Thank you for the information, Miss Montgomery.
I hope he wrote that down, because I didn't.
Then if you don't mind,
Alright, so let's head out to this swamp, shall we?
Hello? Is it...
Strange of Dupre to leave the door unlocked. You really have to wonder about someone who chooses to surround themselves with... Well, the
That
guns
is a good
missing.
question.
Sean
Oh,
must be out
crap.
using it currently.
Oh, this could go bad fast.
Let's see if Jean has anything...
Not very much.
Dear Jean, thank you so much for your help. To think that Mother would try to have me withdrawn from my studies, unbelievable. Oh. That gives Juliet one hell of a motive.
Who the hell are you? What are you doing in my cabin?
Jean Dupre, I presume?
Yes, that's right.
Miles Fordham, private investigator. I'm looking into the attempted...
Nice.
Oh, yes. Yes, of course.
You can put that on the wall, weirdo.
Startled me.
Perfectly understandable, Mr. Dupre.
This is a man whose bark is most definite.
Oh, good, he did.
I had a nasty run-in with an alligator when I was a child. An
Really?
absolute
Where did
bore.
you live?
Are these even native to New Britannia? Some high society type in the middle of a hunt. I don't understand why anyone would get a thrill.
Oh, I get it. It's New Orleans. That's where they have Creoles and French people, but it's in this world it's called New Brittany instead of New Orleans. Why did that not occur to me until just now? Ugh. Game's set in America and it's set in New Orleans, but New Brittany in this alternate world.
Can we talk,
Wow, that
Mr.
was
Dupre?
embarrassing, because that's why there's gators. Obviously.
What can you tell me about Madame Dupre?
Oh, my dear wife. The past few days have been just off.
Yes, I can imagine. How long have you been married?
For 7 wonderful years. Look,
Lord, does he actually expect anyone to believe?
You'll pardon me for being so frank, Mr. Dupre.
excuse me? Who are you to lecture me
I'm
on
loving
my
his
marriage?
accent, by the way.
Fellow married man. That's your wife has just suffered a very traumatic ordeal. Shouldn't you be at home?
But with all the confusion at the house with the police investigating, and I just needed to get away for a bit.
There's something off about this guy,
It's
Miles.
true.
He's definitely hiding something. And
Do you know anything about the circumstances surrounding?
Horrible.
Do you have any idea why Mr. Martin might have attempted to?
Mr. Martin? You mean that Andrew said it's because Martin and his mother are witches who prey on the well-to-do.
Well,
You
that's
really need to
obviously
take
crazy.
One look at him to see his trouble. I'd have liked to teach him a lesson or two, but
Yeah, right. A lesson on how to cow.
I suppose it goes without saying that you enjoy hunting, Mr. Dupre?
yes, I do. It's nice to be able to go out and get some fresh air after being
Oh, he's a banker.
What about your home life?
Truth be told, I'm not at home. I've been trying to make more time, but something usually comes up. Business is business, after all.
That does
Yeah,
make
but
sense.
What business are we talking about here exactly?
What can you tell me about your stepchildren?
Andrew and Juliet? I see.
What's your relationship with them like?
It's fine.
I got the distinct impression from both of them that they hardly ever see you.
Well, yes, I suppose that is true, but they're both so busy with school. Not to mention my job keeps me away from home for
Excuses.
Do you know anything about Madame Dupre trying to get Juliet taken out of her classes at the university?
Ah, yes. Laura didn't approve of her daughter's desire to further her education. I didn't approve of her trying to meddle in Juliet's affairs. I wrote them a letter myself, without Laura's knowledge.
That's very good of you.
Yes, well, I dislike seeing people being told what they can and can't do by us.
Yet, he seems perfectly willing to employ servants at his home.
Well, that's not
I
exactly the
suppose
same
we're all
thing.
hypocrites in one way or another.
I'll be going now.
Having slaves would be
Mr.
the same thing, but anyway. Okay.
Some high society type in the middle of a hunt. I don't understand.
Anything burned in the fire?
For our friend Mr. Jean.
Nothing else to
probably
search.
would. You know, I've heard it said that needing to have. You really have
Waka
to.
waka. Alright. I gotta say, this game is going great. Liking the characters, liking the mystery, loving the dialogue. We're gonna probably take a break here. Come back next time and finish off this first chapter.
Be my...
Tell me
What is
what
it
you know.
going with
I'd rather
Jean
not
Dupre?
speak of him. Madame Dupre does...
I take it you don't look very...
I'll just say this. If my wife had been
What a gentleman. He doesn't even leave women.
Those are all the questions.
I hope I answered them.
That is an interesting fact. Anyway, so as I was saying, this is going to be the perfect place to take a break. I have been the Hidden Object Guru. Thanks for coming on this journey with me. If you had a good time and you'd like to see more, there's buttons coming up for that. Questions, suggestions, entries to the many quizzes. Go in the comments section below the video. If you'd like to be here for the live streams of these and other games get played, check out the Discord channel. I'll be back in the next item on the playlist for the rest of this first case, but then there's going to be a delay because I'm not allowed to post any more of the game until it's actually out next week. So you might have to wait a little if you're excited to see what happens next. I will see you back here for that, but until then, au revoir.